What's up? Hit that like button as you come in. And I told you last night we had a couple of cancellations, and for whatever reason, I was not able to log on because the app kept crashing. So now in doing so, I'm gonna actually make sure you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? I'm gonna actually make sure you guys can hear me. Got you. Alrighty. I'm going to post in the chat a couple of things. Mostly the PayPal and Cash App, because I know Cash App on yesterday was not working properly. So you might have to just copy and paste and log in and all that good stuff. But this is mainly because, like I said, I was going to do the question and answer session and things didn't work out. But right now what I want to do, because I'm going to come back to do the question and answer session, because I'm hoping you guys appreciate it enough to where I can actually do that. Don't forget to share. I'm trying to log on just to make sure I can actually see the comments as they come up, because I am using my iPad. Because like I said, my phone was not doing what it was supposed to be doing yesterday. What's up? They're taking the piece. All right, so now I can see that. All right, now we're ready to go. Don't forget, as you come in, hit that like, and also share if you can. So, okay, actually it did pop on the screen, so I appreciate that. I'm actually going to go into a conversation that I had yesterday, no, actually on Saturday. And I want to pose a question to you, because today, as you can see, I actually labeled this as story time, because it's going to be a story, but I'm going to pose a question in it, because it was a question that I seem to be asking more often than not. And the context of it, or the pretext of this one, is that the conversation I was having was with a former police officer. And it goes into the misconceptions that are being brought to us as law. There are a lot of videos that I'm doing which kind of deviate from that, but it also explains the actual factuals of law. So here we go with the story. We had just finished playing a basketball game, and we were kind of riding back, and I was giving a conversation on what it was that happened to a friend of mine, and I also talked about the mistrust that people have with police officers. Well, the context of the story flowed kind of into the situation. One of the situations I gave to as an example, I told him, I said, well, I never tell people to consent to a breathalyzer, because at the end of the day, that has nothing to do with the stop, has nothing to do with a crime. And his interpretation of that was, if you're not guilty of something, why would you not comply? I gave him several examples of people that complied and were still killed by police officers. I gave several examples of police officer misconduct. And then I also spoke about the fact that the pretext of a stop is a traffic infraction. Now, the officer at that time does not have probable cause. And then I explained to him, as a police officer, probable cause does not come from a hunch. And his statement was, well, it can come because I think. See, I told him, I said, law doesn't allow for one to be thoughtful or to think. It takes thinking out of the equation, because Terry v. Ohio states they cannot use a hunch. Just because you have a hunch of something means nothing. And we all know that probable cause only comes from a crime. A crime can only come from something that where there's an injured party, a party to which you can confront, because this is a confrontational system. So when we're talking about a DUI stop or a pretext to a DUI, and the obvious idea of consenting or the consensuality of the contact. And then his mindset of, okay, if you didn't do anything wrong, why not consent? Because, you know, they're just stopping you, that's their job. I said, okay, great. I said, what about the young man that just got out of prison literally last week that was in jail for 39 years? He was a doctor. He was jogging. Police had a hunch he did something. He spent 39 years in prison as an innocent person. What about Daniel Shavers, who complied with police officers' orders, who didn't do anything, was still murdered by police officers? What about the other young men? I said, what about the young lady? She was schizophrenic. She was still murdered by police officers. The 15-year-old that was on a bicycle, he put his hands up. He was still tasered by police officers. So when we're talking about the context of complying, the one thing that kind of gets me, that I have no idea why it's even brought up as a fact of what I'm trying to get the words on that, because I don't understand why the difficulty of this is the context of what I'm getting ready to go into. And it's, we will say somebody that we place our life in the hands of has less culpability on a situation than we hold somebody at McDonald's. And he goes, okay, go ahead and explain that. I'll say, okay, great. I'm a person. If I order a steak, right? I'm gonna get back to the McDonald's, you know, analogy, because, you know, I always tell people somebody got to make the fries. But again, if them fries ain't hot, I'm gonna take them fries back to get hot fries. But you expect me not to hold this police officer in accountability for not doing his job properly. But if I order a T-bone and they bring me back a ribeye, and you tell me I need to be happy with the ribeye when I order the T-bone, because it's still a steak. That's not what I'm paying for. And what's up, Joe? Here's the question that I'm gonna pose to you guys. Because again, this is one for, because there are police officers that actually follow my videos. This is the context I'm asking. I want real comments. I want real remarks. I want whatever it is that's in your heart from this comment or this statement, this question, to be actually placed in the comment section, because I'm going to respond. My question to him, this police officer, why is it that the citizen has to comply, but you will not ask the police officer to do their job properly? I might not be doing anything, but why do I have to do something when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing the right way? Please, somebody give me the context of what I should be doing. Because it's obvious if I comply, even though I'm not doing anything, I can still lose my life. I can actually comply and not be doing anything, and I can still get a citation. I can actually comply, not be doing anything, and still be handcuffed in the middle of the street, and with a knee in my back and a gun to the back of my head. So please explain to me, why should I not ask them to do their job properly? That's my comment for right now. And Joe, Joe, please, anything that anybody wants to say, I'm any of the trolls. Your sleeplessness. You know, I can believe. You know what? I love those. I actually love those, because at the end of the day, here's my thing. Here's the thing that I have. If I know, you know what? I'm gonna throw that out. I'm gonna go into something else real quick, because right before I got out of the car, the conversation he and I had, I concluded with this, because he accepted the fact of all those examples. He accepted the fact of those analogies. And he still wasn't quite getting it, right? So, okay, cool. Don't worry about it. I said, if you know there are instances of corruption, you know there are instances where they're not turning over body cam, you know there are instances where they're making up things in their police reports. I know that, right? But you're still asking me to trust that person. And he kind of like, but no, that's exactly what, and I told him, I said, that's exactly what you're asking me. I said, now I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna go get a little biblical for you, because I'm gonna give you the story of the snake. Young man goes outside, it's 30 below outside, sees a snake in the front yard. He brings the snake in the house, warms him up, feeds the snake, nourishes the snake back to health, and then the snake bites him. And then he goes, well, why'd you bite me? I helped you. He said, you knew I was a snake when you brought me in the house. So again, if I know it's a damn snake, why am I bringing him in my house? I'm not inviting it. So if I don't participate it, and law says I don't have to participate, because again, Florida v. Royal, California v. Berlin, the right to remain silent. Now, a lot of us have the inability to shut the fuck up, but that doesn't mean we don't have the right. I'm not a cop. I don't have to participate in your foolishness. Why do I have to be involved in my own degradation? That's my question to him. And why can't I ask you to do your job, what you're being paid for to do? Because if I go to work and hell, go back. Now here's the McDonald's situation. I said, because if the man go to McDonald's, right? He dropping them fries. He burned them fries one time. What he's gonna do? He's gonna get written up. He burned them fries twice. Guess what he's not doing a third time? He's not working on goddamn fries. So why is it that we can't have the exact same thing go along when we're talking about the culpability of police officers? And the one thing I also hate, because again, I want these comments. I want anybody, share it. And yes, please, absolutely share this, because I want this type of conversation. If I know they're being trained, because I want, please, anybody that watches live TV, anybody that watches Richland County section of it, if you come across the video where at the end the police officer says, everybody's a suspect, everybody is out to hurt me, everybody is got a weapon until I prove it otherwise. If they're being trained that, and it's not just in Richland County, but that's the one where the young man said it, and it's being trained all across this country, why is it that I now have to accept them being scared to do their job properly? Why is it I have to be okay with them not doing what they're being paid to do? You know what? But again, that's what this is. So today I'm gonna come back, because I do want to do the question and answer session, because that's one of the things that I feel is important, because we get a lot of questions that Uncovering America. I'll put it in the I'll shoot the email. Actually, I'm shooting it now. It's in the comment section. But okay, that didn't help. Yeah, just shoot me a quick email, Uncovering America, so we can have a conversation, and we'll go from there. In the email, send me your phone number too. I appreciate you. But no, at the end of the day, the conversation that I want to have is, we all have questions. And one of the things I do like is being able to sit down a little longer with you guys. And oh my God, my t-shirt is just all on my neck. So ain't nobody gonna tell me about my t-shirt. That's, you know, I thought y'all loved me, but okay, I got y'all. I appreciate it. But no, at the end of the day, one of the things I do appreciate is the fact that just like one of the guys that the other night, he sent a donation. He's been a guy that I know for about at least 8 months, 9+ months, has been a follower. He's always been a guy that's been commenting. He's always been one of those guys, whether we agree or disagree on something, he'll share not only his question or concern, he'll put it in the comment section, and he'll also follow up with it as I do the video to kind of answer his question. Now, a lot of things that he put in there is not because he doesn't know what I'm going to say, but it's the pretext to make sure I'm not giving you guys BS. Make sure I'm giving you actual law. Make sure I'm staying on point and I'm guiding in the right direction. That doesn't mean we agree on how it's applied. Not at all. But it does understand the importance of what the message is. That's why I want to do the question and answer sessions. That's why I think it's very important. But I also want to do them on Sundays. Just yesterday, for whatever reason, YouTube, it just kept crashing. Like literally, I did it like 6 times, and it crashed every time. So, not sure how we'll have to do it for now, but I'll find a way. And I appreciate you guys that's been donating. And Joe, do you want me to put your email out? Because I do have it. And if so, who is it for? Okay, is that for Uncovering America? That's for both of you guys. Y'all want me to put it out? Because it's in the chat. Y'all let me know if y'all want me to put them out, because both of y'all put it up. So, Uncovering America, yours is up. Okay. Got both. There we go. There we go. Both of y'all are out. So you might have to do a little bit of scrolling down a little bit to see the emails. Both of you guys put them out. So, but on that note, because even like I said, whether we agree or disagree, the whole point of this is to be educated on what it is that we can and can't do and the application of it. Not just knowing words and all that other stuff and, oh, I know this case. Okay, but do you know the context of the case? Do you actually understand? Oh yes, I appreciate that, because what I'm gonna give y'all a story on how I got this, because somebody asked this story, and I'm doing an interview with a young lady in probably about a month, where we're gonna go into, you know, criminal history to you know, pro se representation at a racketeering trial to now doing YouTube and going back to school and doing different things, because the pretext of it was I went to do something and I was working with my brother, helping him with a situation, and then I saw a benefit. In the midst of that benefit, I started helping people with traffic citations. The problem is I didn't realize them ungrateful fuckers was going to actually try to say I did something wrong, even though they were keeping money in their pockets. But then it went to a larger scale, and I was charged. I was indicted. During the indictment, didn't know exactly what it was. Why do you always be, okay, why do you have always be pro se in these court proceedings? Okay, I'm gonna get to that. That's actually a great question. Well, what I did, once I got indicted, I figured, you know, there's nobody gonna care about me more than I cared about me. But also, if I believe in what I'm doing, I went out and I literally put in 18, sometimes 20 plus hours in a day, not studying stuff that was online, because I learned early, stuff that's online, a lot of it's incomplete. I'm not saying it's wrong, just not complete. And then nobody is showing you how to apply the stuff that you're seeing online. Everybody has a template. Everybody has, you know, these documents that you can spend $200-300 for, and then they don't tell you how to use them. or they're fucked up and don't have anything to do with what you got going on. So I don't do that. I went and got hard copy books. I went to libraries. I went to courthouses. I went to law firms. I would just sit down, and then we went to Chicago at one point. We went and bought books. We would different places down in Atlanta. We would go get the books, the actual hard copy books, and sit down and just go through them line by line, precept upon precept. And I say that constantly because that was the one thing that was constantly drilled in my head. And it was the understanding that everything you do, no matter what it is, there is a process to it, because that's the proper way for it to be done. And then as we were learning this, it became one of those, now we're learning police procedures, what they can and can't do. Now, the reason why I do all of my cases pro se is because I don't trust anybody. If I know there's piranha and I know everybody is dealing just for revenue, why am I going to participate in it? If I don't want to give you any money, then why am I giving you money? That's the whole point. So I sat down and I've never been too grown to learn anything, which is why I appreciate people such as Dexter. Dexter actually even donated to the channel. And one of the things that I understood was everybody in the courtroom had a fiduciary duty to me. Because in order for a judge to convict me, I have to allow it. In order for the prosecution to do their job, it's up to me to make them do it properly. And then if they don't do it properly, it's up to me to hold them accountable. I can't have their buddy hold them accountable because they're buddies. How many people will throw a friend under the bus? You know what? Because most of us have a friend that will snatch from under the bus or go under the bus with them. Most of us will. Now, I ain't got no friends anymore. You know, if somebody driving that bus, yeah, that's your ass. You know, you knew better. You know what, BX Press, that is exactly right. They want you to take responsibility for their actions. Gonna say that one more time. The reason why I'm pro se is because they want you to take responsibility for their actions. That is the whole point in me being there. I am the employer. I am the one that goes out and they have to answer to. So why in the hell would I turn that over to them? Because that's why I always talk about, I don't talk to a sibling of a child about the actions of that child. I'm going to go talk to their parents. Grown people got to talk. I don't talk to children. We don't have conversations. And yeah, they never disclose that, because once you turn 18, you're expected to know that, even though nobody teaches you that. They don't tell you, oh, you're grown. They don't teach you what grown means. Now, in the eyes of the law, you're grown. Yes, in the eyes of the law, you are grown. But what does that entail? That means, yes, oh, you know right from wrong. Okay, what right do you know? What wrong do you know? Because what's right is being programmed into you that the police officers are right, even though you know that 67% of the time they're wrong. You know that. Why? Because men lie, women lie, the numbers don't. If 67% of all the people that are getting out of jail or out of death row are presumed innocent, that means 2 out of every 3 decisions they make was wrong. I didn't make that up. That's not my number. That's theirs. And then if I sit down and I look and I say, traffic court is not a court of record, so it doesn't exist, something's wrong with me. Because if it's not a court of record, it doesn't exist. If it's not written, that's one thing they teach you. If it's not written, it doesn't exist. Benjamin Franklin spoke about the pen is mightier than the sword. So again, if I'm gathering all this for traffic court, guess what I'm not gathering this for? Traffic court. I'm going to say it again. Traffic court, if I'm filing motions for traffic court, guess what I'm not filing motions for? Traffic court. Because again, I'm getting evidence from the kids. Yeah, I need this so I can go talk to your dad. I need this so I can go talk to your mama. The grown people got to talk. Because if you're not going to do the right thing, guess what I got to do? Somebody got to spank that butt. These are the things that need to be taken in place. That is why I do and say the things that I say, because I keep it in context. Because what attorney have you heard say the things in the context in which I say them? None. And as Cat Williams say, don't worry, I'll wait. The reason I have a channel is because the programming is so deep onto which most people believe that the police are able to just, they'll do whatever they want to do if you allow it. Just like I talked about in the last video. Let them get on the stand. Let them go ahead and get up there and say what they need to say. All right. Now, if I know hearsay needs evidence, where's your evidence? They ain't got turned over. Where's your evidence? Because I ain't taking your word. I don't trust you. I don't know you. You ain't my mama. And hell, I don't trust her half time. I love you, mom, but you got to show me. And unfortunately, that's where we're at, especially when I know a snake is a snake. I can't get up. You know what? That's like the joke that Cat Williams made when the young man or the young lady fell into the lion's den or the tiger. And saying everybody at the zoo got upset with the tiger for doing what a tiger does. I can't go into the tiger's den and then expect the tiger not to do what a tiger does. Because ain't nobody stepped on a basketball court and not expect somebody to play basketball. Ain't nobody going on a basketball court, starting a basketball game, and they not expecting to get buckets. It's just not going to happen. That's why I always talk about the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast never changes. It doesn't change from Georgia to South Carolina to California to Michigan. It doesn't change. Even here in Texas, it doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the players. Because that's why I tell people I'll do certain things because I want to see the response. That's what you're looking for, because this is chess, not checkers. I do certain things, I do it subliminally because I have to hit your subconscious, because that's where they're attacking. Because just like I talked about, we had a conversation that got biblical. And it was with a young man, he's very devout in the church. And I sat down and I asked him a couple questions. And this is for my biblical people. The question I asked, because he talked about the right and wrong and for the soul, and okay, I get on it. Let's get started. The easy question. I said, when Jesus was in the desert for 40 days, 40 nights, what was the devil tempting him for? And he looked at me, he was like, well, he asked him a bunch of questions because he wanted his soul. I said, no, he wanted his mind because he wanted his decision-making ability. But he thought because he was exhausted, because he was not in his normal state of mind, he wasn't rested, that, again, an interrogation tactic. The same thing they did on the Central Park 5. They took children that are not in their right mind, that were not grown, and exhausted them, and then played on their mind, because that is what this is for. It's for your decision-making ability. If I can influence your decision-making ability to not listen to me, but to go check me out. Go check out the shit that I'm putting on these screens. Because at the end of the day, you love you more than anybody else does. You are going to fight harder for you than anybody else does. You are responsible for your actions, not anybody else's. So you can't turn that over to anybody else. But again, I'm gonna wrap this up because, again, like I said, probably about, what time is it? Probably in about 5 hours, I'm going to be back on, and we're going to have a genuine question and answer session. And this is where we're going to actually sit down, and I'm going to give you, you know, like I said, I'm going to give you a little bit of that meat and potatoes, and we're going to have a real discussion. But again, those that want to, leave me a comment, share this video, because the question that I'm asking is, why can we not hold someone accountable that we know is doing something? Why would you want a citizen to be receptive or compliant to something and not hold the person liable or responsible for it. And yes, I do interviews. Now I do anyway. So just hit me up. Do you have my email? Yeah, here go my email again for you guys that need it. And if you want to talk, leave me a phone number. So hopefully you guys have that. Do I need to but there are many occasions, even if you don't allow them, they threaten you with jail. Yeah, they can threaten you because it's an interrogation tactic. And share the love. I'm gonna say, Jen, just let me know and we'll set it up. So, oh no, Jen, I'm actually write it down. I ain't gonna put your number out there. So give me a second. Well, actually, Jen, is this your cell phone? I'm shooting you a quick text. Okay. All right. So I'm wrapping up. I appreciate you too, Jen. I'm wrapping it up for right now. And what I'm going to do, if you guys want to donate, I'm gonna have to put the links up. But if you're doing Cash App for whatever reason, don't know what the hell's going on, you're gonna have to type in Supreme Decision or the $ Supreme Decisions. PayPal, I don't know if that link is still screwed up, but it is the Supreme Decisions, all one word, the Supreme Decisions. And the other ones, they should work because Apple Pay is just the GOCP at Gmail. So as I believe Venmo is Supreme Decisions, and Zelle is the email that's down in the comment section. And I appreciate you too, vicious people. But yeah, give me a couple hours, I'll be back on. I love you guys. See you soon.